it's Laura here. Week 3 of the Facets Fatigue Management course. Now, this management course is organised by the NHS Trust, and it is really interesting and perfect for you if you suffer from any health conditions, and particularly if you have MS. So I'm just going to go through briefly the handouts because I think that I really want to share it with you, and hopefully you might learn some interesting facts and apply that to that knowledge. So by the end of it, you're going to be an absolute pro. And so I'm just going to go slowly, and forgive me if some of my words come out wrong. So I'm just going to go through it, but it will be really fun, and we can go through back to week 2. So the week 2 homework was to work out what your sleep plan was. And so I basically last time showed you my activity diary. Hang on 1 minute, which is just here. And that sort of shows how the day was when you have your rest times and when you have your sleep times, and just sort of sorting out your rest planner. So I hope you've already got your diary here with you. It's really, really brilliant to have one for everything for this course. So go purchase one of those. So we just sort of went through some of the different challenges that we had with our homework, and thinking about our rest times, working out like 3 or 4 times in the day that you can rest for sort of 10 minutes a day, and a maximum of 30 minutes. So you've got to play it by ear a little bit, because we've all got different rest times and waking up times. But here is the course, and I can actually probably send you at the end a little leaflet that you can refer to. So we're on to week 3, and we are budgeting energy. Here we go. So learning objectives, we want to make sure that we think about the sleep planner and how we are going to use our budgeting energy. So what we've got is our toolbox of SMART goals, which is, you may be familiar with the SMART goals, but we can talk about that a bit later. So the activity, working out what it is, and then thinking about how measuring your energy and the balance between both of them. The different activity tolerances. So sometimes you might find something a bit more difficult. So it's getting to know what your activity limits are. So what are the components of the activity? So you've got the physical movement, the noise, etc., the cognitive, planning and making decisions, concentrating, the social. So does this activity involve anybody else, and are they friends or strangers? No, it sounds silly, but if you don't know that person, you've got to think, maybe if you're meeting them for a coffee with a friend of a friend, have you got anything cool to say in advance, or something that you can talk to them about? It sounds silly, but it's definitely worth researching a little bit of yourself and what you feel like you're comfortable about talking, and what's in the news, and maybe if there's anything going on which is a cool play you've been to, so other people will know how cool it might be, and shared interests and all that. Emotional. So is the activity going to make you feel really sad or really happy, or maybe quite anxious if you suffer from anxiety, which can be like a killer as well, which I also suffer from. And also I think it's quite important thinking about your environment, about if it's if there's lots of people in the background, like when you're in a coffee shop, if you can hear people next door to you having a chat with somebody else, and then you've got another group of people, and then your friends talking to you, and it's really hard to concentrate on what they're saying, and you sort of go into another dimension because you're just trying to like work out who you're listening to a little bit. Yeah, so what's demanding? High impact, medium or low. Obviously, short periods of exercise can make you feel less fatigued than longer ones. But at the same time, keeping your mind active, something that's going to keep you interested and stimulating. So things like maybe doing, listening to talking books, playing a musical instrument, whatever floats your boat. So exercise, going forward to that. Exercise is really beneficial for MS, for mobility, for mental issues. However, it can be exhausting, which we all know. So it's just choosing the right exercise and thinking about how you're gonna manage that. So, for example, there's like this 7-minute workout thing that I had signed up for online as an online sort of course, and it sort of sounded like quite a good thing to do because I was like, oh great, it's only 7 minutes long, but 7 minutes equals why is it so easy? It's only 7 minutes. It equals hardcore 7 minutes. So you're literally having to like run on your feet, and it's only 30 seconds, but after like 5 seconds you're just like, oh my god, my legs have just gone to jelly, I can't even do that. So I play it again and then maybe do another 10 seconds, pause it, and then try and do another 10 seconds. But maybe the 7-minute thing wasn't really very good for me, but I was just trying to know what my limits were, etc. So conserving your energy, making sure that you drink loads of water and you're healthy eating. I think one of the main things which I found really interesting. So obviously we all kind of feel like we could lose a bit of weight, and we all want to have like a lower body weight and be stronger and things like that. And I know that I basically, unless I'm on steroids, I'm roughly the same weight all the time, which is, after childbirth, pretty jelly, but, it is what it is. So, yeah, and then I realised that having, like, if I had put on a bit of weight, like after Christmas, it was like making me feel so tired because I realised that I was having to carry that extra weight on my legs and my arms. So I have to be quite careful about making sure that I'm not overly eating and getting a lot bigger, because actually I won't be able to walk around so much and walk around, do whatever, any type of exercise at home. So keep an eye on your weight, because it makes you really tired if you put a bit of weight on, which is fine if you do, but just got to be mindful of these things. Keeping cool, just be a bit cool, keep cool, everyone knows that. Delegating. So if you want to delegate a task to somebody, like, can you do the washing up, and that person is going to say yeah, and then the whole point is, don't criticize it if you're delegating it to somebody, because you should be grateful that they're saying yes to be the activity to be delegated from to. So yeah, you learn that. Definitely make sure you delegate in a nice way, and if afterwards, oh my gosh, gotta have a bit more coffee. So do things. If you feel like you have to do it, then you could delegate that to somebody else. So maybe You could ask your friend if they could drive instead of you driving, because driving can be really exhausting if you can drive. Kind of reevaluate yourself on something you've always done. Oh, well, I always do that. And it's like, okay, well, you always do that, Laura, but perhaps you need to change your habits in your routines. So the 4 Ds: do, delay, delegate, ditch. Work out yourselves. Get your book, sit down, write down all of those different activities on your activity diary, which are things that, you do, things, could it wait, can somebody else help you, or can you just eliminate it altogether? And it's quite amazing how you realise, like, oh, actually, do I really need to, go shopping and do, just say go shopping, do it online, which I did talk about before, but once you've done it and it is online, then you just have to reorder the same thing and maybe change a few bits and bobs. So you can do the same activity, but doing it a bit differently saves laborious tasks. So crossing things off the list. My list, so I've got a couple of books I kind of collect having lists of things to do, but this is my diary day-to-day list of things that I have to do during times throughout the day. So an every hour kind of have a little plan about my day. Then I have my weekly planner, so that's what I put in my handbag. So I make sure that I cross things off my list because I find it really satisfying, and I get pretty confused and a bit upset if I feel like I haven't done the things that I said I was going to do in the day. And at least if I did one, then that would be one thing I've done. Posture. Sounds a bit weird. We've all got problems with our posture. Some people who work in offices or have worked in offices in the past have posture problems. Doing yoga doesn't mean to say that I've got a really good posture. I actually have just started doing Pilates, which I found is so much, it really helps with your spine and your alignment, particularly because I think that from working in the past, I'm quite forward, and it's not about just raising your head, it's raising your spine up. So have a look into some of those online classes because they're pretty cool. Practical tips. Obviously, have your toiletries to hand. Don't have all your bits and bobs everywhere. Like I do a little bit, but nobody's perfect. Take baths if you can, then you don't have to stand up in the shower. Use your bath board if you've got one, and you can sit down in the shower and think about when you're washing your hair. Maybe you can use the jug to rinse all the bubbles out of your hair, because if you've got long hair, it can be really arduous. Dressing, casual clothes, perhaps. We don't want to be wearing casual clothes all the time. So don't really want to be on leggings all the time. So you just have to think. I went from leggings to jeggings, which is like jean leggings. And I thought that was sort of a bit of a borderline thing. And then I just thought, actually, I'll work it up. Because when you wear clothes, if they're tight, it can make you really tired. This sounds so weird, but if I wear a tight pair of jeans, it feels like the same amount of energy that I use up on my body because my jeans are tight than it is trying to walk around or something. So if I'm going to go out for a night out, I need to really think about what I'm wearing, and tights are just brilliant because they're thin and they're not really straight, they're not really squishy and tight. So definitely think about your wardrobe and think about using your wardrobe so it's easy to get on and off when I've had my relapses, I can't even my hands are so have no dexterity or not dexterous, so I can't do up buttons and things like that. And again, it's not me just doing up my buttons, it's about my son's clothes. So being able to do up his buttons on my behalf, or me trying to do up his buttons, is really hard. So sometimes I just buy clothes for him which are easy for me to dress him, even though he's just learning to dress himself a little bit. And some of these hand-me-downs or more sort of high-end clothes have all got really difficult fastenings, because I don't know why, but some of them are really hard to fasten up. So we just try and buy like clothes items which are easy. So it doesn't matter where it's from. It can be like mid-range or cheaper. Whatever we buy has to be practical. Shopping, make that list happen. Shop when it's quiet, so there's loads of people around. Not loads of people around. In the kitchen, soak stuff, obviously. Use a sitting stool. And sitting stools are so good. You're sort of sitting up high, so you're not sitting down, you're just perching. It's actually called a perching stool. If you've got one of those, get one. If you haven't got one of those. Also, when you're doing meal preparation, think about when you're going to be doing your meal preparation. Can you do something in the morning, like say planning what you're going to eat? Do some of the if you're marinating or anything like that in advance. And then perhaps you could get your partner or somebody to peel the potatoes in the afternoon.